Good evening, my friends. Today we're going to play an Elvis song, great Elvis song, called Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Alright, download your paperwork, blue link below. You know all the procedure by now. Click the thumb up, whatever, if you want to help the channel, because it does help. Subscribe, it helps even more if you do that. But more importantly, download this free paperwork in order to play this particular song. All right, it's a great one to do. It's going to help you picking this. All right, I've tried to keep it as simple as I can without messing up the song. Capo 2, you don't have to play with the capo. If you're singing a lower voice, you take the capo off or move it to your left. If you're singing a higher voice, for you ladies, you bring it to your right. Okay, I'll show you later. So we're going to do this. Wise men say only fools rush in, for I can't help falling in love with you, etc. Beautiful song, it really is. If ever you're doing a party and you're playing, and you know what it's like, you'll start playing a song and they'll all start chatting halfway through verse 2 because they don't know verse 2. You play something like this and they'll immediately acknowledge you, and because it's so well known, they'll all join in. Right, so have you downloaded your paperwork? Click your thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You know it's all free. Do that now before we start. Ignore any adverts that come up. You can't get rid of them. Well, you might be able to. I can't get rid of them. So put up with them. That's the time to have a cup of tea, have a little break, and just review what we've done. All right, there's only 3 pieces of paper to download. Let's begin. The introduction. Now, all you're going to do with your right hand, the rule of the 3 fingers, as we've talked about before in our little picking exercises, the bulk of the pick is, I want you to just count to 6. I'm not gonna do it in a sort of musical way. It's going to confuse you. All right. When you play a chord, I want you to do this in your head. I want you to think this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And whenever you say number 6, it'll be on that string. You will bring your fingers on the left hand off. That's when you're going to move to your next chord. All right. Trust me. You still play the string even though you've got no fingers on the neck. All right. So before we do that, let's just play the introduction. Okay. Now, because we want to try and emulate the piano that played on the record, we're going to bring our fingers up 3 strings. So you're going to play a 5, 4, 3 and a 2. Now, for those new to the channel, this is my idiot-proof way of doing it. You can't get this wrong. It's impossible to get it wrong unless there's something wrong with you, which I know there isn't. I do these for me, by the way. You're not the idiots. I am. I do this for me. So there's your chord shape that you're going to use, and underneath it you'll see the string numbers that we're going to play. All right. So these first 4 chords here. That's the introduction, and then we've got the verse, and then we've got the middle section on the next page. So you can't mess this up. All right. So the first shape is a C. We only need a simple 5-string version of the C. I'm going to play this. I'll shout out the names of the strings: 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. And can you see the way these 3 fingers group together, looked after the strings that they're sitting on? So put them there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I count the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't worry that you might think it sounds a bit weird. It won't in a minute. The next chord we're going to play is a G. And we don't need the little finger down here because we're not playing it. We're going to play it on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret, all right? We don't even need the 5th string, but I always put it on just in case I hit that 5th string by mistake. What are we going to play then? Well, it says underneath 6, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and we'll come off again. Okay? So this is what we have from shape 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Back to C. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Leave it on this time because we're going to stay there for the final shape, but we notice something has changed. these 3 fingers that were on 2, 3 and 4 have now moved down to 1, 2 and 3. And for that final chord, we will play this 1, 2, 3. We'll then add our little finger to the first string at the 3rd fret for the final 1, 2, 3. All right. Should we play that intro? I'll do it slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Wise. And then we'll go into our Elvis impersonation thing. I can't do Elvis's voice. He's such a stunning singer. All right, let me play that with a bit of pace. So, from the intro. And then we start the song where it says verse. Now, I've put the lyric above each chord so you can't get lost. So we're going to start off. Now, from now on, you're going to just play the 3, 2 and 1. So the pick's always going to be the same. The only thing that will change will be your root note. What is that? That's the bass note your thumb's going to play. Okay, so every time you change chord, your thumb might play a different bass note depending on what it is. We'll get to that. So we're going to start off with the verse. We're going to play a C. So our root note is here. 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On number 6, get your fingers off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To an E minor. Bass note is now on the 6th string. Why is that? Because we're playing an E minor and that's the bass note. Pick is exactly the same except that thumb is now on the 6th. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, come off on that last 6, that last 3rd string. It'll always come off on the 3, by the way. You'll notice that as you go along. So we've got from the verse. Now again on the E minor, you'll see me with 2 fingers on. And you'll say, well, you're not even striking those strings with your pick. And I'll say, well, you're right, but I might do by mistake. I might go. And if I didn't have those fingers on because I thought I was being clever, it would sound absolute shite. Or shite if you're from Ireland. All right. Spelt S-H-O-I-T-E. Shite. All right. That's what it would sound like. All right. So we've got C, E minor. Then we've got 2 bars of A minor. So we can stay there. Then we come off. Now we're going to play an F. Don't run away. We're going to do a simplified version of the F. What does that mean? We're just going to play it like this. Finger across 2 strings, 1st fret from the capo. 2nd finger on your 3rd string at the 2nd fret. And your 3rd finger here. Now we're going to use an F bass note, but we're going to use, instead of using a low one here, we're going to use the octave here. Just to keep it simple. You seasoned guitar players can play a bar chord and play that one. This is to sort of get those that may not be that familiar with that nasty chord F. What are we going to play? Same pick, we're just going to play the 4th string as the bass note. Come off on the 3. You might think it sounds weird, it won't when you play it all together. Back to C. And then we've got 2 bars of G. What does that mean? Do the pick twice. Okay, so this is what we have from the verse. Wise men say only fools rush in for. Now, why am I emphasizing those words? Well, it's the word association that will remind you what chord you're playing. This is what a lot of people don't get when they're starting to learn how to play. They often say to me, how come you remember all the chords or all that, those songs that you know? And the truth of the matter is the lyric that you're singing will remind you of whatever chord it is. So wise men say fools rush in. And eventually it sort of all clicks in. That's how it's done. All right. So we've done for I can't. So we're on F for the bottom of the page. I come off on the last note. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. G can't. A minor help. F falling in. Where are we? Page 2. Love with you. And then we've got the next verse, which is I can't remember the lyric. Shall I stay? The map of the song is on a separate piece of paper. I'm just going over the nuts and bolts of how you play each part. All right, so should we try that again from the intro? Wise men say, fools rush in. I can't help falling in love with you. Get the idea? I know it sounds daft, but that's how your brain works when you're doing these things. All right, seasoned players out there, you'll know this is right. You'll do it yourselves. So if I'm teaching me granny to suck eggs, an interesting phrase. I've never seen my grandmother sucking an egg. Let's leave it there. I don't know. I don't know where that phrase comes from. So let's look at the middle section now. Before we got ourselves into hot water. This is the bit where he goes, like the river flows. E minor. Pick exactly the same. Okay, remember the bass note is the only thing you're going to change. So we've got an E minor. Like the river. How's it go? That's it. Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. And then into the next verse. So, what are we going to play? It says middle, you can't miss it. That bit at the top of page 2 is the end of verse 1, and then we've got middle written down here. Lyric above each chord shape, so you can't mess it up. So you can do that thing I was telling you about before, where you associate the lyric with the chord. So we're looking at the chord sheet. It says E minor, so we're going to be playing on a 6 string. All right. So 6, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Exactly the same pick. B7th. Now some people fear B7th. Now let's have a look at how we can get from E minor to B7th without any fuss, okay? There's no finger on the 3rd string anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. When you're going from E minor, think about just bringing this finger down to the 3rd string. This one will slot in the middle. This one can stay on, and your little finger will shoot down there, all right? I'll play it again. E minor, B7th. See the way I'm coming off, knowing that I'm going to be going to the next chord. That 3 is the one you always come off on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of E minors to B7th in this bit, so it's important that you get this right. I'll sing a lyric to it. Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things. Then we drop these 2 fingers to an A7th. So our bass note will now drop to an A string. Are meant to D7th. To D minor. How do we get to a D minor from an A7th? I'm going to move this finger along. I'm going to put this one here. This one drops down here, and now the thumb will come down here now for the 4th string. Why? Because we're playing a D minor, and that's the D bass note. And then to a G7th. And when you're playing the D minor to a G7th, you can leave that finger on while you bring the others off if you want. Take my and then we start the next verse. Let's do that middle bit again. I'll just shout out the key words as I did before. Like, flows, surely, see, darling, goes, some things are meant be. Alright? And then you go into the first verse again. And so on. Now when you get to the end of the song, it sort of goes on, I can't help falling in love with you. Sing the last verse, last line again. I can't help falling in love with you. And accept the applause with grace and a hint of smuggery. Alright? Now, I've laid out the lyric to the song here. Alright? And I've put the chords above. Now, unlike the books that you get where it'll show you one chord and assume you know how long you play that chord for. I mean, how would you know if you're starting? It never makes sense to me. So I've put the chords in, you know, every bar that you're going to play, and I've sort of tried to split the lyric up a little bit to make it that much easier for you. All right? So do not shy away from this song. You always need an Elvis tune in your repertoire, you know, to bring you, you know, to bring the audience with you. It's always good, even if you do all your own music and you know, which I do, but I always have one or two snuck away there. So, you know, if, just in case, if the audience start to wander, you know, and the tension is not there, you know, oh, Elsie, she hasn't been looking too well recently. Yeah, well, it's that son of it, you know, and you're listening to this crap and they should be listening to you. You play something like this and immediately their attention will be back on the most important thing in the room, which of course is you. All right? And on that positive note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Now, listen, thank you very much for all those people who donate to the channel via the super thanks. What is that? There's a button at the bottom of this video, apparently, and it's got the word thanks and a dollar sign next to it. So people have been pressing that and very kindly sending a couple of quid or dollars or whatever it is to the Rob Fenner Rob Coffee and Tea Fund. So thank you very much for that. It's very much appreciated. Enjoy this one. Wednesdays, as I say, we'll do something easier. This is easy, this one, but I just thought because, you know, all you get into picking, we could maybe try something like this, because it's just a great song and everyone knows it. Now, just before I leave you, when I play the F, I'm going to have a couple of embellishments that some of you seasoned players might want to try. I said play the F like this. Now, what you could do, you could throw your thumb over the top, so you've got your bass note, or you could do a bar. Now, the only trouble with the bar is it's quite clunky. You know, trying to move to a bar. But for this particular song, I don't think it's necessary. If I was going to play it myself, I'd probably use the simple one, you know, and allow the song to tell the, you know, let the lyric and the vocal tell the story. One other little thing, excuse me, there's one other little thing you might want to put in. You know when it says, only fools rush in, let me just think. On the word say, there's two A minor, so wise men say. Only if you want to, on that second A minor there, see that one? If you want to throw a G bass note in, you can. Okay, it's like a descending bass run in order to go to the F. However, I've not put it in because we're not going to be descending to that note there. All right, it's optional. If you're going to play the bass note there, then you could throw the additional bass note in there, like that. Okay. Only fools rush. Anyway, I've had enough of that. Elvis, you're wonderful, but I haven't got the voice for it, and I'll only embarrass myself if I carry on. So thank you very much for joining me for this particular lesson. Do share all the stuff. As I say, I keep saying, it's all free. and I will look forward to seeing you all again on Wednesday for something else. I'm going to be doing some Doobie Brothers as well in the future, and I'm working on I'm Not in Love 10cc. I'm just scribbling that out. Some of these sometimes it takes a bit of racking your brains to figure out how to write these down in my idiot-proof way without using reams and reams of paper. So I'm working on that. So for those people who have asked if it's coming up, yes it is. And on that note, I shall love you and leave you. Thank you very much once again, and I shall see you all next week. You take care of yourselves. Bye bye.